Hello beautiful souls and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So today's video is inspired by this full moon happening in the sign of Aquarius, August 3rd, 2020 for this Leo season. So that is exactly what we're going to be covering today. But before we get to all of that, let me go on ahead and get all the normal things, all the little PSAs out of the way. These aren't PSAs though. Yeah, no. Okay. No, I do not have any social media. I do keep getting asked if I have social media. It's not my thing. So no, I don't have any social media besides this YouTube channel platform right here. I am currently still not doing personal readings. I will let you guys know as soon as that changes. I haven't been doing them since before 2020 hit. So yeah, I don't know when those are going to be picked back up again, but you guys will be the first to know when that does happen. So yeah, for sure, I believe that I already got everything out of the way. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the astrological chart for the full moon happening in the sign of Aquarius on August 3rd. We're also going to be doing a pick a card for your week ahead, the week following, the week of this full moon energy, what's going to be happening, a little bit more of a personal reading, as well as there will be a general reading, and there will be a meditation for the pile selection, as well as the new pick a sound kind of thing that I started doing in the video before this one that you guys seem to like. So I think I'm going to make it like a permanent addition to these videos when it comes to selecting a pile. So in these videos here, I have prompts on the screen, that the way you guys can see the different symbolism for the planets and the signs and the houses and the aspects and things like that. That the way, if you are new to astrology, you can kind of learn these things yourself. You can learn the symbolism, because astrology is a language essentially. That's all it really is. And once you see something enough, you start to be able to kind of translate it on your own. And that's why I put so much time and energy into these videos, because when I first started out with astrology, I was so overwhelmed. There was so much to learn. I was just like, I don't even know where to start. And so, that's why I try to explain every message it is that I get in my card readings and these astrological videos and stuff like that. Let's talk about what a full moon is first and foremost. Okay, so a full moon is when the sun and moon are sitting opposite of each other. This is what an opposition is called in astrology. This is considered a hard aspect because the energies it can be a little bit intense, it can be a little jarring, it can be a little polarizing, but I don't necessarily see oppositions as a bad thing. You guys know this. I've been talking about how opposing signs are a lot more similar than opposite. This is when the moon is boldest and is most illuminated. So energetically, we may feel very alert, very tuned in, very synced in with the energies around us when we're dealing with a full moon. A full moon. That is kind of like the basic understanding of a full moon. And so when we're dealing with an opposition in astrology, this means that two luminaries or two planets are sitting 180 degrees apart. And this is exactly what we're experiencing for the full moon in the sign of Aquarius. And so this means that if the moon is in Aquarius and it's a full moon, that means that the sun is currently in Leo, like it is. Okay, so now moving on, we need to understand Leo versus Aquarius energy. Okay, because Leo and Aquarius are opposing signs, and this is why we are having a full moon. So every single sign in the zodiac wheel has its opposing sign, and your opposing sign is almost like this mirror reflection of you. Okay, so basically we need to discuss Leo, because Leo's opposing sign, Leo's mirror reflection, is Aquarius. And so let's go on ahead and talk a little bit about Leo energy first before we get to Aquarius energy. So Leo energy, Leo is the sign that is ruled by the sun, as well as it rules the fifth house. Now, when you really want to know about a zodiac sign, one really wise saying in Kemetic tradition, Kemetic science, chematology is look to the known to see and understand the unknown. So if you really want to learn something about a sign, look to its ruling planet and see how that planet behaves on an astronomical level. Just look at how these planets act, because they have personalities almost, in a sense. When we look at the sun, what is the sun? It's just extremely bright. It's extremely illuminated. And so the sun is only aware of its job to show up and be. Without our sun, the entire solar system that depends on the sun dies, it collapses, it cannot survive without the sun. And this is why I've always described Leo energy as integrity, because without that, the whole system breaks down. But you know, something had to be consistent enough for life to be able to depend on it. Something had to be consistent and reliable enough, and that is the sun. The sun, since the beginning of time, since man has been here, has always risen in the east and set in the west. So something had to be reliable and consistent enough for life to be able to depend on it, for evolution to even be possible. Because in order for evolution to work, in order for life to progress, it needs time. It needs time and opportunity. Now that we are able to survive, we're able to focus on the other reasons that we're here, our purpose, right? So people will say that Leo energy is fun, youthful energy, and it is, right? But the thing is that Leo sees fun differently than we see it. The sun can't see the difference or the difference in importance between fun and work, because fun is work to Leo. Work is fun to Leo. It all equals the same thing, because the sun's job is just for him to just show up and simply be him. Do nothing else, just be you. So this is why Leo also rules purpose. And if you look at our purpose, even our purpose is this very strange mix of fun, work, commitment, play, passion. The only thing that Spirit and the universe has ever asked of us is for us to be who it was that we were sent here or born to be. So Leo season is just simply connecting us to being who we are, despite everything it is that we are comprised or made up of. And we got a really nice glimpse during Cancer season last month of how emotionally complex we are, how complicated we can be, how dual we are, how multifaceted we are. But Leo season comes directly after all of that complexity, and Leo says to embrace how complicated we are, to embrace the fact that there are certain things that we don't know, to embrace the fact that sometimes I feel like this, sometimes I feel like that, to embrace our duality, to embrace the parts of us that don't match up. Leo just wants us to be us without having to explain who we are, without having to give a reason for it, without having to justify it, but just to simply be. Leo says, accept it. This is you, complicated but simple, intelligent and charming, student and teacher, loving, soft and gentle, but also a force to be reckoned with. This is the duality that lives inside of all of us. And this is why the sun also represents the ego. So the ego is the way that we identify. The ego, you can also see it in spirituality as almost like wrapping paper, right? Imagine wrapping up somebody's gift for Christmas and you really don't want them to know what it is that you got them. You want them to be super duper excited and surprised. So when you wrap that gift up, even if it's just in a plain old box, it's hard to kind of tell what's inside that box. That wrapping paper really conceals it. So that's kind of what the ego is. It's kind of like our own wrapping paper. It's wrapping paper to this avatar, basically. And you have to really be able to peek inside to get a good look as to what it is. But the sun, can you get close to the sun? No, you can't. The sun doesn't necessarily have wrapping paper. It just says, you get too close to me, I'm gonna scorch the hell out of your ass. You're not gonna exist if you get too close to me trying to crack my code. And that is what Leo season is really trying to say right now is, hey, don't try to unpack me. Don't try to unpack me. Don't try to look behind that wrapping paper to see what's in there, because you're going to get scorched. I just want you to celebrate me. I just want you to appreciate me as I am. I just want you to accept me as I am. And this is what Leo season is really helping us to do, to find some sort of comfort in this multidimensionality, in all these different faces and hats and roles and jobs that we wear, that we assume. So now that we've covered a little bit of Leo season here, Leo energy, let's go ahead and talk about its opposing sign, its partner, its mirror reflection, which is Aquarius. So if Leo was looking in the mirror, what he would see looking back at him is Aquarius, okay? And so Aquarius energy. Aquarius is a sign that is ruled by, it's ruled by Uranus and as well as Saturn, as well as Aquarius rules the 11th house. So if you understand Leo energy very well, then that means that you also understand Aquarian energy very, very well, because these energies are attached. Okay, they're almost like Siamese twins. Or if you understand Aquarius energy very well, you have a very good basic understanding of Leo energy. This is how opposing signs work. Even though they're opposites, they're saying, hey, we share a reflection here. We share the same core energy. If Leo is extremely focused on the self, then its opposing sign needs to support it by being more focused outwardly by being more focused on the community around it. And so the interesting thing here is, like I said, they share energy. So they share weaknesses, they share strengths. So that means Aquarius takes on Leo's strength. So that means that Aquarius is able to project its focus, project its attention outside of itself, as well as it's also able to focus on itself. It's also able to stand in its own purpose, to stand in its own presence, to stand in its own power, just like Leo energy. So Aquarius knows how to exist individually while also being a part of a collective and a community. So if Leo's job is to sustain life, then Aquarius's job is to look outside of its own purpose to see a greater one. This is why Aquarius brings and rules perspective. So Aquarius sees things that the sun can't because the sun is so internally focused, is so self-focused. So Aquarius sees this community, collective life that the sun is responsible for creating or sustaining. And so Aquarius says, well, oh my gosh, somebody has to lead or guide or advise or teach or bring some sort of leadership and perspective to this group, to this collective. So Aquarius energy, much like Leo, has been blessed with the natural ability of duality, to be able to say, yes, I am here, I'm standing in my own purpose, but I'm also connected to a greater purpose. I'm also connected to your purpose. And with Aquarius and Leo being opposing signs, they share each other's strengths and weaknesses, just from a different standpoint or a different angle. This is also why Aquarius is known as an innovator, and this is more so to do with its ruling planet Uranus. Uranus is so progressive, it's so different, it thinks differently, no one else thinks the way that Uranus thinks, no one else moves the way that Uranus moves. Uranus is complete unpredictability. So people will say that Uranus throws wrenches in situations, he just comes in and screws everything up. I see Uranus as the individual, I see him as a rebel, I see him as a rebel without a cause. It's just like, I just want to do differently. I don't feel like doing what everyone else is doing, because I already know what to expect. Everyone else has been doing the same thing. And so that's why Uranus can be seen as the god of disruption. Even though he's not necessarily disruption, it's just that sometimes we need to become aware of the fact that there's a different path. Uranus brings the awareness of choice. That is why Uranus is so powerful, because Uranus says, hey, expand your awareness to see all these other options. You don't have to keep going that way. But it kind of takes a little bit of that rebel, that kind of bad influence. As a kid, like your parents would say, no, I don't want you hanging out with so-and-so, little Johnny over there, because he's just such a bad influence. Uranus is such a powerful, powerful energy, such a powerful planet that brings the awareness of free will, that brings the awareness of choice. So this is why Aquarius is known as innovators. And I've always described Aquarius and Uranus energy as trendsetters. And this is solely because Aquarius and Uranus energy is so focused on evolving and progressing. Aquarius and Uranus energy, they want to look back a year from now. If you are Aquarius dominated, Uranus dominated, like if Uranus is sitting on your midheaven or your ascendant, like me, Uranus is sitting directly on my ascendant. Uranus sitting directly on my ascendant. Sometimes I'll just get these radical ideas and be like, let me just go chop all my hair off. Why not? And I've had to really learn throughout my life to kind of just like kind of calm those thoughts down, because this is why I always get tattoos in a place I can't see them, because I know myself and I know that, if I can see this every day, eventually I'm going to want to take like sandpaper to my arm and like scrape it off or something. I can't see something every day because I'm going to get sick of it and I'm going to want to change it. And I already know that about myself. And it always usually comes out of nowhere. Uranus is the god of surprise. But this is how Aquarius and Uranus energy is. They want to look back a year from now and be in a completely different place than what they were. So that is what they are committed to. A Uranus and Aquarius energy is very committed to progress. Let's move forward. This is why they want to do things differently. We've already blazed that damn trail. Let's go exert our energy, invest our energy into something we haven't done. Moving on to this astrological chart. Now that we have covered Leo, Aquarius, and full moons, we know exactly what these are. Now let's go on ahead and start covering the chart for this full moon happening in the sign of Aquarius. So the very first placement that I've written down here in my notes is we have Sun in the sign of Leo opposing Moon moon in the sign of Aquarius. So like we already talked about, opposing signs, they're not very different. So if we didn't have mirrors, we wouldn't be able to see ourselves, right? We wouldn't be able to see our own reflection. Same exact thing when we're dealing with energies, when we're dealing with zodiac signs. If it wasn't for their opposing sign, they wouldn't be able to see their own energy. They wouldn't be able to know their own energy. You look to the known to see the unknown. But if you don't have anything to compare to, you don't know anything else, right? This energy here is asking us to look into our own mirror reflection, to look at the certain jobs and roles and responsibilities that we've taken on, to see if they are encouraging or discouraging us from following our dreams, from prioritizing our dreams and our own self, our own purpose. This is also something that I wrote down in my notes for this astrological chart as an eye-opening emotional vantage point. If Aquarius gives us perspective and the moon is our instincts, our emotional body, our responses, then this is almost like a much needed break from all of the emotional developments that we went through during Cancer and eclipse season. So there's a lot of emotional developments. There was a lot of emotional awareness that we had. We were almost hypersensitive to our emotions and how we were feeling, or we felt extremely numb during that time because it was too much that we were feeling. And this is why I drove it home so hard during Cancer season in these new and full moon videos. Like, you guys, this is the time for us to hammer away at these different traumas and things that we've been holding on to, our ancestral traumas, our childhood traumas, working with the inner child, things like that, because moving into Leo season, it's all about the inner child. Leo is a dreamer. And so, when a kid says, I want to grow up and be this when I get older, that is what Leo energy is. It's all about that purpose. Kids are extremely connected to their purpose. They're more connected to their purpose than adults are. And with that new moon, that second new moon that we had in the sign of Cancer, was that July 19th, I want to say, something like that. With that second new moon that we had in the sign of Cancer, I told you guys that this was a reset. That second new moon was a reset, because what ended up happening was now we're going to have the new moon, which is normally kind of like in the beginning degrees of a sign. We're going to have it towards the middle towards later degrees of a sign. So now the new moon's going to be in the middle of the month versus the beginning. Energetically, this is a major reset. And so this is why I was really hammering on the fact that it's like, we have to seriously, we gotta take this work right here, right now serious. I know it's exhausting. I know it is intense. I know it is so much work that goes into it. That was one of the last few moments. That new moon in Cancer was the last opportunity that we had to just completely focus all of our attention and energy on healing certain parts of ourselves before energy started getting picked up again and trying to move on to the next thing. So that's why I was pushing it so hard. We've got to really try to heal these things, because things happen in seasons. And it's not that you can't heal, the rest of Leo season, the rest of the year. You can choose to work on your healing anytime it is that you want. But the energies, the cosmos, was really supporting us down here when it came to doing that emotional work. And if you know how to read these things, you know how to flow into those cycles, into that rhythm, and then flow right back out of it. And it was heavy, it was a lot, it was exhausting, but we had so much support in it. And so, that's kind of also why too, I think I was really kind of had slowed down with posting so much. I just couldn't get my energy levels together. After something that's that intense, there's always this moment of pause. There's always this moment of reflection. There's always this moment of, okay, I fell down. I have to take a second here, breathe, get my shit together, pick myself back up. But it's okay to take that moment of break. And Aquarius actually rules the star card in tarot. The star card comes directly after what? The Tower card. This dramatic, intense, life-changing, almost soul-shattering, event. So the Tower brings major eye-opening vantage points, aka perspective. There's a lot of emotional maturing that many of us did during Cancer season, even if it didn't feel like it, even if it felt like we were getting emotionally just beat up over and over and over again. There was a lot of maturation that was happening. It might not have seemed like it. It might still not feel like it, but trust me, you are getting stronger, you are maturing, you are getting wiser, and it doesn't always feel that way. Sometimes it feels like we're moving backwards, when in actuality, it's like you are leveling the hell up, But after going through Tower moments, what the universe and spirit always does is it awards us with wisdom, insight, perspective, clarity, purpose, direction, it evolves us so much. The Tower moment is a tool, and we talked about this. I think it might have been the last new moon or full moon video, how these things are tools. This pandemic has been a tool that we could use to see things differently. This whole 2020 has been a tool. Your worst moments in life have been tools that could help you or it could bring you down. These are deal breakers that say, hey, when you apply pressure to coal, it turns into a diamond. And so, yes, traumatic things happen. I've experienced traumatic events, some things that I've never told a soul about. These things I had to realize after going through the darkest, worst moments of my life. I had to come out of it realizing I can take this as a fucking tool because I'm sick of not living. I want to live. I'm here. Let me enjoy it while I'm here. I deserve to enjoy it. And so I had to start seeing things differently. I had to switch my perspective. I had to switch around the way that I saw everything. And I had to start seeing it as this isn't happening to me, it's happening for me. And when I started seeing things that way, I looked at it as a tool. Thank you, universe. Let me use this. I'm going to use this to build a fucking house. I'm going to use this to get stronger. You guys know the saying, when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade out of it. And I know it's a lot easier said than done. I know that there's things out here where it's just like, damn, I don't know if I can come back from this. But if you are still alive and breathing, you can. You can. And sometimes it's hard. But that's why we have to take those moments to grieve, to process. We have to take those star moments where it's like, okay, everything just went to shit. Okay, something horrible just happened. Okay, this has changed everything. When something traumatic happens, you don't forget the date. You don't forget the time. You don't forget what you were wearing. You don't forget what you were cooking on the stove. You don't forget the song that was playing. It's like you go into the state of just overstimulation and it all gets seared into your mind. And this is how trauma works. Traumatizing things, it's almost as if your soul, a piece of your soul is stuck there and it's just stuck reliving it over and over and over again. And this is why things are so easy to remember when traumatic events happen. I know, I've lived it, trust me. And so you guys know, like, when I am doing these readings and things like that, I'm not just blowing smoke up anyone's ass. I am talking from experience. I'm talking from knowing what it's like to be in the fucking gutter, knowing what it's like to be in hell. And it's not fucking easy to pull yourself out of there. But it's possible. So don't ever mistake it. Don't ever mistake something that's difficult as impossible. It's possible. There's a reason why I relate to you guys. There's a reason why you guys relate to me, because we've been through similar things. We've been through things that are so fucking hard. We've been through things that have almost broken us in half. So we have gained a lot of insight after these tower moments. We gain so much wisdom and insight. It cracks us open and it exposes other parts of ourselves that we had forgotten or never even tapped into. And so the question is like, what have we gained insight on from this past tower moment or from this past Cancer season? What have we gained insight on? Well, according to the astrological charts and energy itself, we've gained a lot of insight on, or a more up close and personal look as to how far away we've been separated from our purpose and our own personal power and our identity. We get to see how far it is that we distance ourselves from ourselves for the sake of fitting in, for the sake of being a part of a collective or a community. Like I said, Aquarius rules community and collective. That is what we're gaining a lot of insight on, is okay, where have I sacrificed pieces of myself in order to seem more compromising, in order to seem more cooperative with people, in order to not seem problematic, in order to not cause waves, for the sake of fitting into these communities, these associations, these groups, these jobs, these roles, these responsibilities. You know, one thing that I really love seeing in women, is when a woman is a mother. She has kids, right? But she can still go out with her girlfriends and have a good night out. She can still put on a really sexy dress and go on a hot date night with her husband or her man or whatever the case. I love seeing that duality. I love being able to see a man that is tough, protects his family, but can also shed tears. I love seeing people that are comfortable with their dualities, because the world always tries to force you into a fucking box. I hate labels, because the world will try to put you into a box, and the second that you step outside of that box, it's like a whip. This magical whip just comes out of nowhere, and it's like, ow, damn, like, what was that for? And they're like, you're stepping outside of your role. And it's like, I'm not here to play dress up as one person for the rest of my life. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here for that to happen so that the way I'm more digestible for you. So that the way you can get me, so that the way you don't feel intimidated because you know what box I fit into. Oh, you're a Christian, you're a Republican, you're white, you're black, you're gay, you're straight. I get you now. No, that doesn't mean anything for anyone. These are descriptions, not the person. So Leo season is helping us to see we don't just wear one hat, we wear many, and that's okay. It doesn't make us confusing or fake or malleable or wishy-washy. It makes us human. It makes us multidimensional. Let's go ahead and move on to the next placement here. So we're going to be talking about I've got some dates as well listed in this description box down below because mid-August it's about to get cracking, y'all. Like I'm not playing no games. It's about to get cracking. I don't know what we're gonna see just yet. I've got some ideas. I don't like to make predictions, me personally. We already have Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter all retrograde, right? They've been retrograde since earlier this year. But we also have Chiron, that's retrograde. We also have Neptune, that's retrograde. And guess what? Uranus is about to join the fray and go retrograde mid-August, okay? So all of these planets, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, Chiron, Uranus, and Neptune are all going to be retrograde from mid-August to mid-September. These retrogrades, let me just explain them or describe them. These retrogrades, they're basically coming to expand us, okay? Like how we talked about how tower moments, they expand us. And I know we've all been going through tower moments since the beginning of this year. Many of us have been going through tower moments since the beginning of our lives. But yeah, so the world is just kind of catching up and saying, oh shit, okay, things are changing now. So just running through these retrogrades really quickly. Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter retrograde in the sign of Capricorn is challenging the things that we are sure of. And this is because Saturn and Capricorn, these three planets retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Capricorn and Saturn energy makes us sure of things because it rules infrastructure. It rules stability. Okay, Saturn is a planet of discipline, challenges, and fears. And we've been questioning what it is that we are sure of all of 2020. This is going to be no different. Neptune retrograde in the sign of Pisces is really blurring the lines of reality. But another thing that Neptune is also doing, and I don't know why, but I feel like Neptune energy is really responsible for this war on information that we have, where there's all these conspiracy theories. You have the news, you have all these opinions. There's so many opinions, and this clash of information, this war on information is really sort of bending the constructs of reality as well. And Neptune going retrograde in its own native sign of Pisces, this is just emitting such a strong sense of, I don't know where I am at. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's fake. I don't know what to believe. So Neptune retrograde in the sign of Pisces really blurs the lines of reality, as well as it's connecting us to this collective unconsciousness. So we're also very, 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 very able to feel each other's fears, each other's anxieties, each other's pressures. It's this hypersensitive feeling of, oh my God, I'm not just scared, the entire world is scared. And there's nothing scarier than when it's like your fear is almost becoming validated and justified because the rest of the world is feeling it, right? So it's almost kind of hard to separate yourself from what the world is feeling. So for those of you that have said, like, I've been doing all my spiritual stuff, I've been meditating, I can't get it together. You guys know that I said this a couple months as well. I couldn't get it together at one point when it came to meditating. I had to whip out the sound bowls. I had a whole damn crystal band in here, just like playing triangles, looking crazy. Like laying down meditating was not doing it for me. It's very, very hard for us right now, especially my empaths, my sensitives. And we all have these psychic abilities. We're all sensitive. But when it comes to empaths and sensitives, they kind of have that door open. You know, whether you voluntarily opened it yourself or not, that door is very open for you to feel these things so intensely. So it's very kind of hard to separate yourself from the world's experience. And this is why it's like, even though maybe nothing crazy is happening in your life, you could still feel as though your world is crumbling around you because you're picking up on all these different energies. So, you know, Neptune retrograde in Pisces is also doing that. But then with us being tuned into everything, this can also make us lose a sense of self and identity because we're feeling more collective than normal. We're feeling more like this is a community than normal. This is that shift in consciousness. So, You know, everybody talks about we want the Great Awakening until that Great Awakening hits your ass and it's like, oh my God, you can feel all this? It's like, yeah, you can. And then moving on to Chiron retrograde in the sign of Aries, the Chiron is the wounded healer in astrology, and he is helping us to fight our demons by helping others to fight theirs. This is why, you guys know, I mentioned, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I mentioned maybe a month or two ago how important it is for us to have our Chirons activated, because we can help each other heal. Chiron can't help himself. He helps other people heal because he can relate to their issues, to their demons, to their problems. But he can't, for whatever reason, heal himself. He's like that cosmic blind spot where he's just like, I don't know what my issue is. It's like those people in horrible relationships that give great relationship advice. So, you know, this is why it's really, really important for us to have our Chiron activated. That the way it's like, I can help you, might not be able to help me, but I can help you. And then when we come across someone else that has their Chiron activated, they're able to help us. And it's just sort of like that chain reaction, right? Okay, now moving on to Uranus retrograde in the sign of Taurus. So this is the planetary placement that I personally have been keeping my eye on very closely, because this energy is causing almost like a silent earthquake that you're not necessarily aware of until like the aftershocks, or until like a tsunami hits or a volcano erupts. Like, that's how Uranus energy acts. It's like a surprise out of nowhere, like we talked about earlier. And not literally, I'm not saying literally, I'm just talking about figuratively here. Well, he is in the sign of Taurus, so it's possible for something like an earthquake. But anyways, so Uranus is sitting in the sign of Taurus, right? Middle of August, I think, what did I say? August 16th? August 16th. Yes, August 16th is when Uranus will be going retrograde. Right now, he's stationed direct. So Uranus, the god of disruption, surprises, individuality, rebellion, revolution, is in the sign of Taurus. Now, Taurus energy, I'm a Taurus sun, so I understand Taurus energy a little bit. But Taurus energy represents the material realm. It represents material values, being that it is a fixed earth sign. Taurus energy really rules the connection of how we connect and interact with the physical material world around us, the tangible world around us. It's how this world makes us feel. It's how we exchange with the physical world around us. Uranus comes in and says, let's change everything. Well, Taurus is a fixed earth sign. It's almost doubly fixed, dealing with the earth element. Earth element, when you're dealing with something that's tangible, physical, it's extremely stubborn. So this is almost doubly stubborn energy when we're dealing with Taurus. Only Taurus is like this in the zodiac sign. Taurus energy despises change, can't stand it. This is why the world is having such a difficult time with change. I'm blaming it all on Uranus and Taurus, me personally. This is why the world has been fighting change so hard. And the world already fights change to a certain degree, but it's really difficult for us to let go of the old way. This is Four of Pentacles energy, where it's like, I am holding on for dear life. You have to literally come and pry these pentacles out of my hands. And that's what leads us into the Five of Pentacles, where it's like, I was holding on so tightly that I lost everything. This is why it's felt like such a global struggle, because the god of change is duking it out in the sign of preservation. Taurus is a traditionalist. It respects conservation. It respects, it honors history. It sees value in not changing. It sees value in consistency. The issue that can come with that with Taurus is, I don't want to change it. It's working. You know, like, where's the logic in changing it if it's working? Uranus is Taurus's worst nightmare in a sense. It's forcing the world to accept change in the things and in the areas that it never had to change necessarily before. Not in recent history. This is the amazing thing about astrology. This is the amazing thing about energy, is it's so dual. Where there is something that is challenging or difficult or complicated, means that there is also a silver lining in it. So the good thing about this is, whatever part of your chart that Taurus rules, Uranus being in this energy is going to be introducing adjustments into your life, modifications, revisions. Even if Taurus doesn't rule a particular house in your chart, because sometimes we have something called an intercepted house or an intercepted sign. And so every sign usually rules some sort of house in our chart. unless your house is bigger than 30 degrees. So every sign in every house is about 30 degrees. But sometimes, though, depending on when and where you were born, you can have intercepted houses or intercepted signs where the house is more than 30 degrees. If that's the case, then you more than likely have some sort of an intercepted sign in your chart. And this means that that particular sign does not rule a certain house in your chart. The thing is, though, is this energy still plays a part in your life. You're just very uncomfortable with it. It's very foreign to you. You literally don't get it. You can't relate. And my progressed moon is going to be spending the next 2 years in one of my intercepted signs, which I'm really excited about, because I will tell you guys this much: as uncomfortable as it's been, as strange as it's been, I have learned more in the few months that my progressed moon has been in this sign than I've learned probably in the last like decade of my life, because it's really pushing me to get comfortable with something that I'm not comfortable with. Now, moving on to Mercury and the sign of Cancer. So for me personally, I have more questions than answers here, but I'm kind of wondering if you guys have been seeing a lot of signs lately, a lot of synchronicities, having a lot of really vivid dreams, being able to walk into rooms and seriously feel them, being able to almost, this is another thing too, and I don't want to sound crazy, so I didn't really know how to introduce this. Some of you may have also been able to hear people's thoughts. I know that sounds wild. I know it sounds crazy. And I'm not talking about people that I know. I mean like strangers, like being around strangers and being able to hear like a thought passing through their mind. You guys may have experienced that. Some of you guys may have experienced that. Like I said, I know that might sound a little like, you feel okay? I'm feeling great. I'm feeling fine. Things like that may be happening as well. You may be telepathically communicating with people, because Mercury rules the mind, right? So Cancer is this highly sensitive, emotional sign. It is ruled by the moon. The moon rules the subconscious. You may be seeing corner visions, as well as you may be having visions of things yet to come, premonitions of things that you're going to create. So there may be sort of projects that come to your mind, sort of ideas that kind of come into your mind, but they kind of stick there. Like it's passing through, and then it just sort of stops once it gets there. So like if you're a musician, for example, let's just take that for example. You may have literally been hearing songs in your, like full-blown songs in your head, where you're like, where's my guitar? Where's the piano? I need to write this down. I need to get this out. It's like this very vivid, creative source of energy flowing through us right now. And this is because Cancer energy is highly creative. So this is where the mind loses its logic and goes from more left brain to right brain, where we may be feeling a bit more sentimental, more than usual. You may see a commercial that just hits you and you start crying. And with this kind of energy, this can make all these changes a little bit more complicated, because we may be reminiscing or missing how things were. So this is kind of Six of Cups energy, where it's like romanticizing the past in a bit, but all at the same time, we are finding a lot of comfort and creative outlets and creative expression, emotional release. But this can also have the opposite effect on us, where we get blocked, we clam up, or we close up entirely, like the crab going into its shell. And Mercury and Cancer, for my creatives as well, I have to put this disclaimer out there for you guys that are creatives, content creators, maybe whatever it is that you create. You may have been experiencing a lot of creative blocks. Like we were talking about earlier, that thought that sort of crosses your mind, where it's like, oh my gosh, I can hear the song, I need to get it out. Well, it's like once you sit down to get that song out, the second you sit down to get that song out, the first day it might flow beautifully. And then come day 2 or day 3, it's like, why can't I finish this song? Why can't I get the next line out? I just literally wrote 75% of it in like an hour. And now that I'm coming back the next day, I can't even think of like one word or one note that can, or melody that can go with this. Like, what's going on? So even though Cancer is the mother of creation, where it should be super duper easy for this creative energy to just sort of burst and flow through us, she is the mother. She's the divine feminine. The divine feminine works in cycles, okay? And Mercury, the god of the mind, likes processing facts, logistics, science. Emotions, feelings, and sensations is just simply not what Mercury is used to. So this can cause a bit of a backup or a clog up so to speak. It can cause things to kind of get backed up in a sense, like your creative energy can get very easily blocked because this is a clog in emotional downloads and processing. When you are a creator and you are just like, I feel like painting, what you're doing is you're allowing that creative emotion, you're allowing that creative energy to flow literally right through you and onto a piece of canvas. If you're a musician, then it is flowing out of you into these instruments, onto this song, into this mic, whatever it is that you create. Something is coming out of your spirit and it's being birthed in this tangible realm. That is the most beautiful thing ever, right? But this can block us because there's so much trying to flow out that sometimes if we haven't been releasing in a while, it can kind of get pent up a bit. Everything works in cycles. So, and especially when we're dealing with Cancer, the moon moves in cycles. It goes from a full moon to waning and waxing to a new moon and back again. So if you have any sort of planets in the sign of Cancer in your natal chart or in your transit, sort of transiting through the sign of Cancer in your chart, these energy levels are going to fluctuate. They're going to go up and down, up and down. So you might be feeling that creative flow one day and you're just really into it, and the next day it's just like it's not there anymore. Now it'll come back because everything moves in cycles. But so that's why if you're in that creative flow, really try to capitalize off it, really try to take advantage of it while it's there, because it could kind of just disappear the next day, especially if something happens where it's like you get a call or you get an argument with someone, or you get a bad comment or something like that, and then boom, that creative flow just kind of just washes away. So you kind of want to take advantage of it while you're in that frequency. But if you find yourself out of that frequency and you're like, I really need to create, or I really want to, try doing things where you get mindful, where you start slowly leaking that energy out until it stops getting backed up, until you sort of free that space, free that clog up a little bit. So basically, really good things to do with that is like journaling, jogging, moving, yoga, crying if you need to, talking to someone, writing things out, singing, dancing. You don't really want to do anything like with a screen or TV or something like that, because that is producing artificial soundscapes and visuals, and the brain knows the difference between something that's artificial sound and something that's natural, or artificial visuals and something that's natural. Getting around authentic sounds, going out in nature, hearing the birds chirp and the leaves sway, in the trees, that really sets your body in tune with its own natural tone, with its own natural frequency. And this will help to slowly release that energy so that the way it's not pent up, and that eventually you'll be back into that flow. You'll feel a lot more better. And if anything, you'll probably get those creative juices like surging back through you again. So now the next placement that we're going to be talking about here is Mars in the sign of Aries. And so this can feel like an overload of energy. And it is 11:11 right now. Just had to put that out there. Hello, ancestors. Hello, guides. Okay. I always have to say that anytime I catch 11:11, I always say hello to them. But anyways, moving on. Mars in the sign of Aries. So this can feel like an overload of energy with Mars in its native sign of Aries, right? With this overload of energy, what this can end up causing, how this can manifest in our own personal lives and in our own bodies, is like, you might notice that you only need 3 or 4 hours of sleep and you wake up feeling energized. You wake up feeling like I got a whole 8-9 hours last night, when it's like you only slept for a few hours. This is that overload of energy. So take advantage of this ability, this little superpower right here, but also you want to really monitor yourself, or you may have difficulties falling asleep. You may have difficulty staying asleep. You may have difficulties where it's like, you wake up in the middle of the night at like 4 or 5 o'clock. You just keep waking up in the middle of the night, 4 or 5 o'clock, and it takes like an hour or two to fall back asleep again, because there's just all this energy sort of pumping through us right now with this Mars in its native sign of Aries. And this is because Mars is the god of energy, of action, of let's go do this. I've always described Mars on my channel as he is the reason that we do the things that we do. He's the reason that we are motivated to do the things that we do. He's this invisible motivation. He's almost like a heartbeat. It's like we're not plugged into a wall or anything, but our heart somehow has a pulse. So you may have difficulties falling asleep and staying asleep because Mars wants to just go. You may have difficulties kind of turning your brain off as well. You may have difficulties when you're trying to get mindful, when you're trying to go to sleep, when you're trying to meditate, where your brain is racing, and you want to go do this, and this. You may also have a very short attention span with this Mars and Aries energy. So there's a lot that can kind of come out of this, but we can also really benefit off of it. So if there's a lot that you're trying to get done, this is the perfect energy to really move with this, especially if you are somebody that is dominated by a lot of fire energy in your own chart. So you might have to actually really monitor yourself. Like I was saying, you might have to actually set alarms where it's like, okay, now it's time to go to bed. Okay, now it's time to eat. Okay, now it's time to do this. Okay, now it's time to do that, because you might not want to stop once you get going. Now, the very final placement that we're going to be talking about here is Venus and North Node in the sign of Gemini, okay? But Venus in the North Node will be exact come August 5th, 2 days after this full moon in the sign of Aquarius. This is a really big deal, okay? Because Venus is the divine feminine in her most expressive form. So you know how the moon represents the divine feminine in a more mature form. Well, Venus represents the divine feminine in a more youthful form, right? The moon is more mysterious. Venus is very expressive. She's going to put it out there for you. So she really helps us to appreciate life and the beauty of life and the beauty of things. She also rules values and self-esteem, the things that make us feel of value. And the North Node is the ultimate opposing energy in our charts. We come from the South Node, right? So when we're looking at the North Node, it seems very far, extremely distant. It feels and looks and seems unreachable. Kind of like the Northern Star, right? It's like it's really bright, you can see it, it's one of the brightest stars in the sky, but it's also extremely far away. You know, we can use it as a compass, we can use it to guide us certain places, but we never actually reach the Northern Star. So there's a very strange illusion with the North Node where it's like you see it, you know it exists, you know it's possible, but at the same time, you're never going to actually reach it. Not in this life. We'll never actually reach this perfection. We'll never actually reach this mastery, because, you know, to reach your North Node is like, there's a finish line. There isn't necessarily a finish line. No, the North Node just kind of guides us. It's not meant to actually be met. It's not meant to actually be reached. It's more so meant to guide us, to show us this is your potential. This is what you can do. But it is a lot of fun, and it is so rewarding to progress or walk towards the North Node. So both these energies together in the sign of Gemini, meeting at the exact degree in the sign of Gemini, the 28th degree, this is attracting fate like nothing else, you guys. This is pulling in so much fate. The people that you meet around this time, best believe, is going to be for a very profound fated reason. Same thing goes for the signs that you receive, the knowledge that you come across and learn, the skills that you enhance. Everything is going to be fated. In other words, everything is going to be tuned to your frequency. Everything is going to be in alignment with your journey. Even if that person that you meet doesn't stick around for the rest of your life, even if that skill that you learn or that knowledge that you come across isn't something that you utilize for the rest of your life, fate isn't necessarily a lifelong promise. It's a life-changing experience that ties together all these random events. So fate is just a life-changing encounter, where things come together, where things are like, okay, it's like an intersection on a road, right? It's like the crossroads where it's like all these different pathways, all these different roads come together to meet. That's what's going to be happening around this time. And this is why this full moon is going to be an exceptional time for you to manifest whatever it is that you want, especially when it comes to physical appearance or romantic connections. Okay, so this marks the end of the astrological reading. Now we are going to go on ahead and move on to the pick a card reading for your week of the full moon. Okay, so this is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So here on pile 1, we have a tiger cowrie shell. Here on pile 2, selenite. And on pile 3, carnelian. All right, and pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards to see what is going on the week of the full moon, this Aquarius full moon for you. So this is going to be a pretty quick reading because I already have done plenty of August readings for you guys. So it'll be pretty brief, but yeah, let's just go on ahead and see the personal energy that you may be working with or dealing with for this week of the Aquarius full moon. And so we have here, the very first card is the 3 of Swords in reverse. Then we have the 8 of Pentacles, also in reverse. Then we have the Tower, also in reverse. And the 3 of Wands. Okay, pile 1. So I see you detaching and removing yourself from some sort of equation this week. For some of you, this seems like a prayer or intention or manifestation that you could have been worrying about for a little while now. And you're kind of choosing to sort of release it, to let it go and allow the universe to take over from here. For others of you, this could be a relationship that you are pulling away from because it's not changing or getting any better. It's as if like someone isn't listening to you with this 3 of Swords right here, where it's like, you know, you've expressed what it is that you feel, what it is that you need. You've tried over and over and over again, you know, and it's like something's not changing. Something's not either changing or going quick enough for you. You're not really seeing results. And so, yeah, this could be a relationship that you're pulling away from. You've given plenty of chances with this 8 of Pentacles in reverse right here. You've really labored over this relationship with this 3 of Swords. You've emotionally labored over this, and you've been through a lot with this individual or this person. You know, this person could have possibly put you through a lot, either this person or situation. This is a general reading, so take it as it resonates. And so I see you saying, like, I need to step away from this and to allow whatever's going to happen. But you have for sure retracted your energy from someone or something, and you're more focused on you this week with this 3 of Wands right here. So this week coming up, you're going to be a lot more self-focused on you. You're going to be a lot more focused on, you know what's actually productive here? What can I actually put my energy and my time into where I'm actually going to see results here? As well as for some reason, health keeps coming up. So for some of you, this could be your health that you've been struggling with. And it's like you're trying all these different strategies or techniques or methods and nothing's really changing. And I see you kind of throwing your hands up and just giving it to God, giving it to the universe, giving it to spirit, and just allowing things to kind of play out how they need to. So yeah, like I said, take this as it resonates because this is a general reading. But for sure, what I'm seeing coming up for most of you guys could be like romance, it could be work, and it could be your health. But take it as it resonates, okay? So, yeah, but I do definitely see you focusing on you this week coming up, which is a really good thing because it seemed draining for you. And so even if this is something like your health, something going on where it's just like with your health where you're just kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to sort of give this up to the universe because I don't know what else to do. Or it's kind of like this back against the wall situation. I see this turning out to be a really good thing because I see you dropping the worry, dropping the anxiety, dropping the stress and the weight of the situation to focus on something lighter, to focus on a better day, to focus on something that makes you happy, to focus on your joy. I really kind of see you seizing the day is what this 3 of Wands really reminds me of. I see you seizing the day this week coming up of this full moon in Aquarius and this Venus and North Node conjunction this week. I see you seizing the day and being like, you know what? Life is too short or life is too beautiful or life is too something for me to keep sort of putting myself in this situation or this predicament, or for me to keep worrying or stressing about something that I have no control over. That's what these cards right here looks like with this 3 of Swords in reverse, the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, and the Tower in reverse are all saying I have no control over this situation, especially the 8 of Pentacles right here in reverse. 8 of Pentacles upright talks about somebody that has complete control over what it is that they are producing or making in their life. They have they've got it all figured out. And that's why they keep making the same pinnacle over and over and over again, because they're perfecting it. They're in control of how these pinnacles turn out. To see this in reverse with the Three of Swords and the Tower reverse, this is saying I have no control here. I'm accepting that. So I'm going to focus on the things it is that I can control. I'm going to focus on the things that I know that I can sort of do to bring me some peace, to bring me some joy. So I really kind of see you dropping something, which is actually a really, really good thing. This as well could be finances for some of you that you're worried about. This Eight of Pentacles in reverse as well. But either way, like I said, I see you pulling away. This Tower card in reverse is also you saying, like, if it fails, fuck it, it fails. Whatever this is, I can't keep trying to hold on. I can't keep trying to hold something together that wants to come apart. So this is going to be such a major relief for you. My pile ones, you see how the sun is beginning to rise with this Three of Wands right here. This is a fresh start for you where you don't have to carry around this worry or anxiety, because this was having some sort of an impact on your mental health for many of my pile ones. So let's go on ahead and get to you guys' oracle cards here, see what else it is that we are seeing for your week. I'm just going to flip them all over. And so we have here Divine Wisdom. I believe that this is the solar plexus chakra. And so, yeah, so there's a lot of wisdom coming in from this by you not trying, by you not forcing. You're learning a lot by kind of stepping back. So some of my pile ones here, you might not be comfortable with sort of stepping back and just allowing things to play out. That may be something that feels that's very new for you. But like I said, I see you trying out a new technique and this thing sort of working. So there's a lot of wisdom in you, and there's a lot of power that's coming from you kind of retracting yourself, pulling yourself out of the equation, not trying anymore. There's a lot of power that's going to get conjured up from that. And you may have been the sort of person that thought, you know, in order for me to have a certain amount of power or control over my life, I need to be in control. I need to make sure that I'm doing this, this, and this. But with you pulling back and saying, fuck it, my hands are, I'm taking my hands off the wheel. There's a lot of wisdom that's coming from that, and a lot of inner power that you're going to gain from that as well, which is really interesting. It's like by you relinquishing control, you gain a lot more control and power. The next card that we have here is Clary Sage, and it says, look, insight, yeah, trigger statement, there is no hope. True statement, there is a higher purpose. Connect with your higher self and allow to be guided to your higher purpose. As the veil of illusion falls away, you will find your answer. Exactly. As the veil of illusion falls away, the tower is an illusion. It is the ego. That's why there's a crown up here to say pride comes before a fall. So this is kind of like the ego crashing down. This could as well be like some sort of like an ego death. Not necessarily for you, though. I'm not really saying that for this week, me personally. But you know, you definitely take this as it resonates. Whatever it is that you're picking up intuitively through this reading, you know, apply that. So, but yeah, for sure, there's some sort of illusion that's falling away where you're just like, you know what? I'm just throwing my hands up and I'm just kind of taking myself out of this equation. The next card that we have here is detoxification, the card of cleansing. Trigger statement: I will never change. True statement: in each moment, I am a new me. You are supported as you release habits and limiting patterns that are not serving your highest good. So one thing that might not be serving your highest good is you trying, maybe you forcing, maybe you trying to stay in control over something that kind of wants to do its own thing, that kind of wants to fall apart, or that kind of wants to fall together in a different way. So yeah, this is amazing how these cards are coming together like this. The next card that we have here is a time to give rather than take. New moon in Virgo. Okay. And then we have here, you and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. Okay, so this is something that you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. And a time to give rather than take, to me, sounds like it's a time to give to yourself with this Three of Wands down here in reverse. This Three of Wands and this new moon in Virgo card, they seem very linked up together. And then the final card that we have here is the Yellow Rose, enthusiasm and friendship. A single rose can be my garden, a single friend my world. Wow. Okay. So yeah, this kind of seems like relationships, a time to give rather than take. New moon in Cancer and Yellow Rose. For some of my pile ones, what you're releasing is the past. So this fresh start that I was saying may actually be a fresh start for you and a friend or a loved one. Maybe there's some forgiveness coming in here, because with this Yellow Rose, new moon in Cancer, and the Three of Swords, this sounds like a relationship for many of you. So this could be a second chance with someone, or you come to the conclusion of giving someone a second chance this week. You definitely feel strong enough though for this fresh start, whether it's a second chance or a new beginning. And with detoxification, again, this is purification, almost like a purging of something for you. You're releasing it from your care responsibilities, what this really does seem like, which is amazing. This just feels like a fresh start, you know? something fresh coming, some fresh energy coming in. And then I'm just gonna shuffle one card for you guys, like a magic spell card for the week. See what you guys get. Oops. Okay, so we have here, it says magical powers. Wow. I weave and clear, I cast and know. Magic's secrets to me now shows. There's a lot of manifesting abilities, a lot of power, a lot of inner power, like I was talking about earlier, coming to you guys. And then we have here beauty. I have a form which is divine. I allow what is within to shine. This feels like, to me, you guys are going to be glowing this week because you're really releasing something that was kind of weighing heavily on you, which is so, so beautiful. So it looks like you're going to have this inner glow. This solar plexus chakra card here, magical powers, a lot of power, yellow rose. Again, we have another card saying yellow rose. This is solar plexus. This is inner power coming through. This is you standing in your own power and purpose and identity and saying, like, you know what, I am taking control by relinquishing control. And I see this really giving you like a glow and giving you like a lot of confidence and strength over this week coming up, which is awesome. But yes, this is all that I'm saying for my pile ones. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I do pray this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, and pile number 2, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards before getting to oracle cards to see what this week of the full moon in Aquarius has in store for you. So this is going to be kind of a brief reading because I really have done a couple of August readings for you guys, and as well as with your zodiac sign, what you can expect for August. So this is going to be kind of brief, but let's just go ahead and see what it is that this full moon has in store for you guys, my pile 2. So the very first card that we have here is the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Then we have the 5 of Swords. And then we have the Star in reverse. Okay. So this is interesting. There's kind of a specific message that's coming through from my pile 2s. So this might only be for a few of you guys. You may share finances with a relative or a friend or a partner. Like maybe you split the rent with someone or share a bank account with someone. Maybe you have a roommate. Somehow your finances may be combined with someone else's. So there could be some disagreements this week coming up about how to spend that money or on what to spend it on, or like priorities. There could be a conversation of priorities coming up, responsibilities coming up, things like that. You or someone else may feel like they kind of want to as well step back from sharing finances, or maybe a living situation or a vehicle or something like that with someone. This seems like someone wanting a little more freedom or independence, and the other party not understanding why, or not seeing the point, or kind of not really wanting to change things. This really feels like you, pile 2, though. This feels like you want to establish maybe your own money, have your own space. This may even be you telling someone, this may even be you telling someone that you want to break or need some space, and you may struggle with some feelings of guilt, especially if this other person is depending on you for something. And so there's like this feeling here where it's just like you feel guilty, but at the same time it's something that you really want to do. You know, whether it's like this is you stepping away, it's like, damn, if I, like for instance, like for example, it's like if you do share an apartment with someone, right? Like you have a roommate, but it's like you really want your own space and you can actually afford it. But at the same time, it's like, you know that if you move out, then your roommate is kind of just, they're in just a deep pile of crap, like if you move out. And so it's kind of like you're struggling with these feelings of guilt because it's like, you know, I want to go out on my own. I know I can handle it. I know I can take care of myself. I know I'm responsible enough. I know I've got everything together in order to do this, in order to be able to do this. But this other person might not be able to handle me walking away or me leaving, something like that. This could as well, like I said, be some of you guys in like some sort of a partner, a romantic partnership, maybe even like a friendship. And maybe you just kind of want to take a step back. It doesn't feel too romantic. So maybe if it is kind of romantic, maybe you could have just met this person. Maybe it's not very, very serious yet. And you kind of want to take a step back because maybe you're realizing like, I'm not really feeling this, or I just kind of want my space. I kind of want my freedom. There's something here where it's like, it's almost like you feel suffocated. There's like this feeling of like feeling suffocated. Like I just want to get out on my own and be independent and be my own person, be my own individual. But somebody kind of standing in the middle, standing in the way of that. Somebody standing in the way of you kind of doing your own thing. This could as well be a career, your professional life, a partnership, a business partnership where it's like, yeah, I don't really want to do this anymore. I don't really want to go into business with this person anymore. There's something that kind of has turned you off from a certain person or a situation. And you're just like, you know, I'm kind of rethinking this. I'm not really feeling it. But there's a sense of guilt as well, you know. There's a sense of pressure, like you have to almost stay with it. Because if you don't, you have this feeling of like, I'm putting this other person out back. But pile 2, you have to really do what you feel is right. You have to at least try. If this is something where it's like, you know, you do want to go out and get your own independence, you have to at least try to do it, because you know what? That's what you're feeling. And it's not fair to you to have to try to suppress that feeling just because you're trying to look out for someone else, you know? But yeah, take that as it resonates. Intuitively, you know, sit with it, really figure out what it is that you need to do. Because someone here doesn't want to budge. Someone here doesn't want to let go. Someone here is just like clearly in the way of you trying to do your own thing or go off and branch off on your own, something like that. I'm trying to see if I'm seeing anything else. There could as well be like a little bit of a thing with some family or relatives or some people really close in your life about the way that you're living your life, or about a certain decision that you're making, or about something that you're doing. They're just, somebody's in the way of you doing what you want to truly do. They're in the way, their opinions are in the way, something's in the way. And you just kind of want to get away from that. You're really wanting to get away from that this week is what I'm picking up here, pile 2. I'm trying to see if I'm getting anything else, but I'm not going to force a message because it's really all I'm kind of picking up here. Yeah, let's go ahead and check out you guys' oracle cards here. See if the oracle cards are saying anything else. See if we're getting any other messages besides what I've picked up. Move these down. Okay. The very first card that we have here, look at that, self-mastery. And this is the solar plexus chakra. So that is the chakra that's just beneath the heart chakra. And this is all about your interpersonal power. This is all about you being your own person, your own individual, doing things on your own. This is about willpower. This is about identity, ego, purpose. So again, there's something here coming up where it says, like it says here, self-mastery. There's something here that you want to do on your own. You want to branch out on your own. You want to try something on your own. And it's like something's kind of stopping you. So yeah, the solar plexus chakra card right here is saying, hey, you pull your own power, like pull from that, from your own power, from your solar plexus power, and do what it is that feels right for you. And you know what? If it causes some issues or some tiffs, that's just kind of, you know, the price of this. That's kind of the price of you stepping into your own power. Is sometimes not everyone's going to agree with it, but you have to live for you though as well, pile 2. The next card that we have here is take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. Yeah, take some time to breathe out, like the star card here. Just take some time to kind of think to yourself, like really ask yourself, what am I risking here? If I do this, if I do branch off and go on my own, and I'm kind of leaving this person to fend for themselves, what am I really risking here? Is it the relationship that I'm worried about ruining? Is it their opinions that I'm worried about? Is it what they're going to say, what they're going to do? What is it exactly that you're worried about is what I'm picking up with this take time to breathe out card. Just take some time to really sit and think about the consequences that may be from you doing your own thing, doing what it is that you truly want to do. The next card that we have, look at that. It's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. Okay, so yeah, you could definitely be feeling judged by someone. Judged, I don't know why that word came out, but you could be feeling judged by someone, especially with this 5 of Swords right here. Yeah, and the star in reverse. You gotta, like it says here, it's time to release that negativity, because that negativity is pulling down on your power. It's almost like an anchor to your interpersonal power, where it's like, you know what, I want to do this, and so I'm gonna will this reality into my being. You have the power to do this, pile 2. That's the crazy thing. And I believe that that's why this card here says it's time to release negativity, because it's like it's getting in the way. There's something here that's getting in the way of you realizing what it is, or you realizing your own reality, of you realizing your own life. And so yeah, this 5 of Swords it can definitely be taken as like a negative card. I mean, just look at this person here. Look at this. They're actually proud of being an asshole. You know, it's what it looks like in this card. And not to say that that's what the person in your life is doing. But there's, you know, the person in this card here, it's almost like he's happy that he won. It's almost like he's happy that he's like, yeah, you're walking away, you're giving up, it's defeat. You know, he's happy that he won. So yeah, definitely release that negativity if you're dealing with some sort of energy like that. The next card that we have here is Marjoram, and it says trigger statement. This is a card of comfort, trigger statement. People cannot be trusted. Wow. Sounds a lot like this 5 of Swords. And then it says true statement. I trust my heart. Your big, beautiful heart is ready to open. Trust that you will be able to discern who is best to walk with you. This sounds a lot like this 5 of Swords down here. There's somebody that, yeah, and it's time to release negativity. Yeah. Okay. Whoever it is that you're feeling like you can't trust, pile 2, trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. You're getting some sort of red flags. Listen to them, especially this week coming up. Listen to them, okay? The next card that we have here is Focus, the card of Empowered, and it says trigger statement. I don't want to be here. Okay. True statement. I'm exactly where I need to be. You're ready to allow the energy from the divine and Mother Earth to fuel you as you fulfill your potential here. Exactly. Whatever it is that you truly want to do, listen to your intuition, pile 2. Like, it's not trying to lead you astray. It's not trying to trick you. The next card that we have here is Lemongrass, and it is the card of declutter, and it says trigger statement. I made so many mistakes. True statement. I let it all go. Everything that you have done up to this point is leading you to where you need to be. Let go of the past and be here now. Perfect. Yes, just let go of the past, whatever it is that may be kind of worrying you about. Like I said, just take some time to really sit down and think about what the consequences could be. And are these truly consequences, or is this just negativity that needs to be released? You know? And the next card that we have here is Snapdragon, graciousness and benevolence. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. I feel like this is a card for you where it's like, be kind to yourself, be kind to your dreams, be kind to your potential, be kind to your solar plexus. What is it that you truly want to do? Nurture what it is that you truly want to do, what you feel in your heart. The final card that we have here is Peony. Final card that we have here is Peony, and it says prosperity and compassion. Look at that. Yes, prosperity depends more on wanting what you have than on having what you want. So prosperity is saying that, yes, this will work out for you. You just have to, you have to be willing, though, to kind of take that plunge. You have to be willing to sort of take that risk. You have to be kind of willing to deal with the consequences, release that negativity by saying, you know what, I don't care what the consequences are. And so I'm just going to shuffle one more card for you guys for my pile 2s for this week. See what magical spell cards you guys got. Oop, okay, we got 2 that fell out. And so it says here, look at this again, success. Success, you guys. Success, pile 2. Success that's true belongs to me. Success with honor, integrity. Go after what you want. Listen to your intuition, pile 2. And it says energy, a light inside my fire divine. Energy, fill me. Make me shine. So this is saying, again, solar plexus chakra, you have a lot of inner energy, a lot of inner power. Use that, because success is waiting on you, okay, pile 2? So this is all that I'm seeing, you guys. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I do pray that this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, in pile number 3, welcome to your reading. So we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards to see what this Aquarius full moon, the week of the Aquarian full moon, has in store for you. So this is going to be kind of a brief reading. I'm going to keep it brief because I've done a few readings already for the month of August, covering the month of August with your zodiac signs and some blessings to look forward to in August. So you guys can definitely check those out. I will leave them linked down below in the description box if you're interested in that. So let's go ahead and see what it is that this week has in store for you guys. The very first card that we have here is the Knight of Wands. Okay. Then we have here the King of Swords in reverse. And the Six of Pentacles. Okay. So pile 3, I see an opportunity coming in with this Knight of Wands and the Six of Pentacles over here. It's something that's very attractive to you as well, so much so that you may feel ready to jump on this the second it comes through. The King of Swords in reverse wants you to look at some sort of detail that you may be overlooking. He wants you to make things very clear as well about what this means if you accept the terms or agree to this opportunity, whatever this is, especially if this opportunity has to do with purchasing something. King of Swords says to really look at the details, think about it, and take your time. Knight of Wands as well wants to rush right into this. And the Six of Pentacles says moderation with something. The Six of Pentacles is encouraging and suggesting moderation, taking your time. Whatever is meant to be, pile 3, will always be for you no matter what. So don't feel pressured or like, if I don't jump at this, it'll never happen for me. And negotiate. That's what the Six of Pentacles is also saying here, is to negotiate. It's saying to barter, to talk things out, to not just take something or accept it at face value. For example, like if this was an ex coming back, make it very clear about what this means, what you want, what you need, what your expectations are, and make sure that you are very clear with them and ask them what it is that they are expecting or wanting or needing from you. Make sure the communication is painfully obviously clear, so there's no confusion later on. So that the way there's no sort of like headaches later on. Or for example, if this was a car that you were purchasing, negotiate the price. Don't jump on the first deal just because it's a decent deal or you really want the car. There's something here about being able to get a better deal if you take your time, read the fine print, and negotiate. But I'm actually saying for many of my pile 3s that this is going to the outcome is going to be exactly how you want it to be. You are in full control. You just have to take it. You just have to take that control. And I really like that, actually, pile 3. But yeah, for this week coming up with the Aquarian new moon, or the Aquarian full moon, this definitely feels a lot like you are in control of whatever this is. So make sure that you are kind of wielding that wand and directing things, because you have the ability here to get a better deal on something, or to really get something out of a situation or out of a person that you really truly do want. I see you working with a lot of energy this week as well too, with this Knight of Wands here. A lot of energy, a lot of maybe passion, a lot of excitement about something. This Knight of Wands just feels so excited. So yeah, let's go on ahead and check out you guys' oracle cards. I'm trying to see if I'm seeing anything else first. As well as too, okay, another thing that just came through pile 3, be careful about kind of not jumping to conclusions. Maybe jumping to conclusions, but be really careful about kind of meet someone halfway. Meet somebody halfway. Be careful about kind of being like territorial almost, or possessive, or where it's just kind of like my way or the highway. Be careful about that. Make sure when it comes to communication, when it comes to communicating with the people in your life, be careful about sort of being stubborn, because with the Six of Pentacles right here, something is saying to try and meet people in the middle. When you try to meet people in the middle, you're going to get a lot of a better outcome. You're going to get a more desired outcome when you try to meet people in the middle, when you try to negotiate. Yeah, okay, so again, the same message coming through. When you negotiate with people, when you really try to meet people halfway, you're going to get a better or a more desired outcome. Instead of sort of just being like, no, I want it like this, this, and this. Try to meet people halfway when it comes to conversating with the people in your personal life, okay? Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and check out you guys' oracle cards here. The very first one that we have is Truth. Look at that. And this is the throat chakra. So again, conversation, pile 3. Make sure you talk, make sure you're negotiating, make sure you're saying exactly what you expect, what you need, what you want. Let's do these ones next. Yeah. The next card that we have here is Believe in the Impossible. Beautiful blue moon. Okay. Yeah. So you are definitely in control this week, pile 3, for this card to come up. Believe in the Impossible, blue moon. Saying that, yeah, for sure. Saying that, yeah, for sure. You can make just about anything work. if as long as you believe in yourself, as long as you believe in your own power and negotiate, yeah, you can definitely make this work. And then we have here, adjustments are required. Yeah, like I said, make sure you negotiate, pile 3. Negotiate, negotiate. Very, very important. The next one that we have, look at that. Your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. Okay, so yeah, so there's something here that maybe you guys have been waiting on or wanting to come through. And some sort of opportunity is coming through, pile 3. Just like I said, some sort of opportunity is coming to you guys. Your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. So for sure, there's something coming through. Just make sure that you take your time and you think about it, you know. Yeah, and you know what? Another thing with the 6 of Pentacles here, only for some of you, because this doesn't feel like a very strong message, but it does feel like something that I need to get out, is to make sure that you don't jump too quickly at some sort of opportunity, because the other party, whoever is offering you this opportunity, they may look at it as though like you really needed them, you know, and you don't want to kind of get into a situation where this person is like, I looked out for you, and you know, they're kind of expecting something in return. So there's something here with this King of Swords where he's just like, hey, really make sure you read the fine print. Really make sure this isn't like, you know, this is sort of like no strings attached. If you were coming here to offer me an opportunity, I don't owe you anything in return, you know, like you're giving me an opportunity. That's great. If you're expecting something later on down the road, you need to let me know that right here, right now, because maybe I'm not interested in that, you know? So yeah, definitely make sure that you really, really ask questions and get all the details. Okay. The next couple cards that we have here is Time. And it says trigger statement, or this is a card of Revive. And it says trigger statement, I cannot stand myself. True statement, I am aligned. Beautiful. Go within and allow everything that is not resonant to be purged, so you can come from your heart, your seat of power. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of talking about you following your heart and saying that your heart is your seat of power. So this may even be a heart-centered, a heart chakra week this week coming up. Like I said, there's something that you really want that I see coming through for very many of my pile 3s this week, this week of the full moon in Aquarius, as well as, like I said, in the astrological reading. I don't know if you guys watched the whole thing, but I was talking about how Venus and the North Node are conjunct exact on August 5th. And so this is going to be attracting a lot of fated encounters, a lot of fate into your life. So there's some opportunities definitely coming through for my pile 3s for sure. And then the next card that we have here is Geranium, and it is the card of nurturing. And it says here, trigger statement, I am all in my head. True statement, I create with pleasure. Take time to rest, and in that time be open to creative pursuits. Surround yourself with things that please your senses and be gentle with yourself. Yeah, so just like adjustments are required, and believe in the impossible, for sure this says I create with pleasure. I am aligned. So there's a lot of fate coming through for my pile 3s this week. It is for everyone, but like especially for my pile 3s, there's just something like there's like a crossroads here. You're coming into contact with something that was meant for you for a long time now. And to me, this just really sounds like you really enjoying this. Like, take some time to also enjoy this, because you've worked hard for this, or you've waited a long time for this. And, you know, believe in the impossible, blue moon. Your hard work is paying off. We have your hard work is paying off right here. So this is something that you may have been waiting for a long time, or that you've worked a long time for, and it's coming in now. And with this Geranium card here, this nurturing card, it is saying to enjoy this, to really enjoy this, to take this time out to really be proud of yourself and say, damn, look at how far I've come with my hard work paying off. The next 2 cards that we have here is Trumpet. I don't know that word. But this is a card of power and healing, and it says to get what you love, you first have to be patient with what you have. Okay, so again, like this King of Swords, what it's kind of saying here is like, you know, make sure you negotiate. Don't be too quick to jump at it, even though this Knight of Wands really wants to sort of jump at it. But like it says here, you know, patience, just a little bit of patience. But it is power and healing. So again, more power coming through to kind of confirm that, yeah, you guys are going to be working with a lot of energy this week. A lot of excitement. And the final card that we have, Coreopsis. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But this is the card of always joyful. Look, you guys, like really enjoy this week for sure. Enjoy this week. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day of the year. You guys really enjoy this because there's something here where it's like very many of my pile threes. You're getting something that you've been waiting for a while. And it's like you deserve it. So, okay, so I'm just going to flip one last card. This is just a magic card for the week, just to see what we get for my pile threes. Okay, and so we have here fertility. Let all take root, seed and sprout. Let new life be. All about, yeah, so there's something coming through, you guys. You're very fertile this week. There's something coming through. There's some opportunities coming through for sure with this fertility card here. And then we have safe travel. Keep me safe and let me roam far away, but bring me home. Okay, so you guys may even be traveling. You guys may even, this opportunity may even ask you to travel. This opportunity may ask you to go, you may have to go meet someone. You may have to go somewhere and kind of secure something, something along those lines. But this is saying right here that you will be safe throughout these travels. And then, you guys see this underneath the deck? Something was telling me to flip over the deck because I haven't done this for any other pile. But for some reason, my pile three, something told me to flip the deck over and look at this. Prosperity pile three. As this tree grows so strong, so fine, so may I prosper. From the universal divine, your hard work is paying off, pile three. You're fertile. There's a lot of amazing things coming to you guys for this week for very many of my pile threes. So make sure that you really do enjoy this. This is beautiful. So this is all I'm seeing for my pile threes. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I do pray this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit for these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys.